And as always, greetings once again from Pennsylvania. Today is September 11th, Saturday morning. It's an absolutely beautiful day. Spent the night camping at Blue Knob State Park, which is where I am right now too. Filmed in Johnstown yesterday. Getting a bunch of videos filmed today. But for this video, we are filming a story called The Lost Children of the Alleghenies. Just to warn you, it's not a pleasant story. It's a tale of two young brothers, ages 5 and 7, who, as you assumed, get lost. They do get found, but it is too late. But it is an interesting story. It depicts the troubles they had in those times. You know, this forest would have looked a lot different back then. But anyway, I also have channel sticker number 31 that I'm going to place out here at this monument. So here's channel sticker number 31. The Lost Children Monument. Let's show you where we are. We got our Pennsylvania map. And I'm here in Blue Knob State Park, which is in Bedford County, here in Western PA. Let me get the Blue Knob map for you. Show you where we are. Of course, this is Blue Knob State Park. I camped up here. Here's the camping area, but there's a road here called Monument Road, just off of 869. It's a long road. You pass a CCC camp. Oh, and just outside the, well, actually you park right here, right within Blue Knob, but the monument itself is just a little ways up this trail. So that's where we're at. That's where the channel sticker will be too, at that monument. So if there's the road we came on, Monument Road, there's indeed some parking here, plenty of it. And the trail is just up here. Beautiful day for this. And I believe this is the creek that was mentioned in the story. I haven't mentioned it yet, but as we talk about the story, we'll talk about the creek. And it did play, unfortunately, it played a pivotal role in this story. Not necessarily one you're thinking. So this story takes place April 22nd, 1856. Back then, this was still old growth forest. It hadn't been timbered yet. So it would have been very different back then. And this deals with two young brothers, Joseph and George Cox, ages 5 and 7 years old. And they wandered off into the woods of the Alleghenies here. They're not totally sure why they wandered off. They think that maybe the father, Samuel, went off into the woods, I think, to cut timber, to collect firewood. And they think maybe the boys just followed him, just followed their dad. But if they did, the dad wasn't aware of it. He didn't like deliberately bring them along. Tree fell down here. And their mother, Susanna, figured that the boys were with the dad, that he had took the boys with him deliberately. So when Dad came back from doing what he was doing out in the woods, noticed the boys weren't around, he asked, hey, whatever he called his wife, maybe he called her Susie, where are the boys? She's like, well, I thought they were with you. He's like, oh, I thought they were back here with you. And then they both realized the boys were gone, they were lost. So they went and got help. The word spread. About 100 people came out that night and helped to look for the boys. But they didn't find them. I think they even set up fires that night. Hopefully the fires would attract the boys. But that was to no avail. I think the second day they had up to 1,000 people out here searching for those two boys. Still, it's April, but it can get pretty cold at night. These parts in April. So there was an urgency to that search. Well, there's an urgency whenever you have children that young lost in the woods. Yeah, it's actually a rather short trail. I see the monument right up here, I believe. But yeah, they searched for about 10 days. And I think it says up to about 4,000 people were helping. But one place they didn't search was on the other side of the creek. I think it was called Bob's Creek. Because during the spring, all the snow melts and the streams run pretty high and pretty fast, and they didn't think that the boys would have crossed that creek, or they couldn't have, so they didn't search on the other side of that creek. And I'm wondering if this creek that we showed at the beginning of the video is the one, because the monument is just on the other side of it. So the thing is, if they would have searched on the other side of the creek, maybe they would have found the boys in time. Maybe not. You know, it's hard to say how long the boys survived after they got lost. Did they perish the first night they were out, or did they, you know, survive longer than that? You know, we'll never know really. But it's just something to think about. They could have searched on the other side of the creek, but they didn't. I think it happens a lot when people get lost with search parties. You know, they think there's no way someone would have traveled this far or gone up here, so they don't search up that way. When in reality, they should have. I could talk. All right, so let's check out the monument. The story's not over yet. The boys were found on May 7th, but that gets kind of interesting. Right up here is the monument. They have like a marker down there. Let's read this. The Cox children, George, age 7, and Joseph, age 5, wandered from their Spruce Hollow home on April 24th. I think I said the 26th. Hundreds of people searched for them for 2 weeks without success. Jacob Dilbert, here's where the interesting part comes in. Jacob Dilbert, a local farmer, had the same dream 3 times about where the boys could be found. On May 8th, Jacob and his brother-in-law, Harrison Wysong, set out to follow signs in the dream. A dead deer, a little shoe, a log across a stream, and then a birch tree with a broken top. They found the boys' bodies nestled in the roots of the birch. This monument marks the spot where the boys were found. There's Jacob. And down here's the monument. Yes, my research had some slightly different dates. I think that one said April 24th. What I read said April 26th. I think it says they were found on the 8th. My research says they were found on the 7th, but I think that's the way it is sometimes with these older stories. You know, it's the same time period, but sometimes the exact dates are a little bit uncertain. We'll go along with what the monument says. All right, yeah, and if you wonder why all the toys and stuff here, it's kind of what people do at sites like this. It's kind of like a memorial to the kids. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, the lost children of Alleghenies were found here, May 8th, 1856, by Jacob Dilbert and Harrison Wysong. And why is it in a cage? Well, it's just to protect from vandalism. You know, if you watched my channel long enough, you know a lot of historic sites, you know, get vandalized. All it takes is one jerk to come out here, come out this trail, spray paint this or knock it down. So they kind of just protect it. See what they got for toys. All kinds of stuff down here. Of course, this was back in 1856, so I doubt the boys would have any idea what some of these toys were. I'm sure they'd play with them, but I think toys have changed a lot since then. And another sad aspect to this, which that board didn't mention, is that after a number of days of not being able to find the children, people started to suspect the parents of foul play. That maybe the reason they couldn't find the kids is that the parents actually killed their own kids and then hid the bodies so no one could find them, and they just acted like they were lost. So, I mean, yeah, that's tragic. I mean, imagine being a parent like that. You lose your kids, get lost, and then people start to blame you, like you're the one that did it, you know. But I guess at the same time, unfortunately, you have to take all things like that into account. You know, we do that today too. You got to get rid of all possibilities. So they did search the family home and the farm and the grounds just to make sure. And of course, that dream is interesting too. That's the one part of the story that starts to get perhaps a little bit maybe unbelievable to some, but it's up to you to believe yourself whether that's true or not. That he had a dream. I think it mentions a number of days in a row, and he didn't tell anybody. I think he told his wife eventually, and I think she's the one that convinced him to tell some other people like his brother-in-law. Yeah, it says he has a dream 3 times. So hey, you never know. Maybe it's true, you know. Personally, I do believe in the spiritual world. I believe sometimes that dreams can mean things. Alright, so now to find a spot to place that channel sticker. There are a lot of rocks here. So I think one of these locations, I'm probably under a Cookie Monster there. Maybe we'll place the channel sticker. Oops. Put him back up. Yep, so under Cookie Monster there and the rock is where that channel sticker is, number 31. And as always with these channel stickers, if you are the one that finds it, if you could send me a picture of it, if you find it, that way I can share it in a future video. So like right now, I'm going to share channel sticker number 28. Actually, this is the one I placed up in Tioga County at the Tioga Hammond Reservoir. So I actually placed 4 there. And a group of people, I think there's 3 people in a group, they went, they claimed 3 of them, which is fine. And they left 1 there for somebody else, but I never heard who took that 4th sticker. But I'll go ahead and share their picture. It's a group of all 3 of them holding up the channel stickers that they chose. And like I said, I never heard from what happened to the 4th sticker. I know people went there looking for it and it wasn't there, so someone's got it. So congratulations to you, whoever got that 4th one. All right. Yeah, and I just noticed too, there's a lot of money in there. There's several, actually I see 3 $3 bills and a ton of change, all kinds, quarters and pennies, nickels, all scattered throughout the ground there. So people are tossing money in there too. Yeah, and obviously too, when they found the boys, it was too late. The sign didn't really necessarily point that out, but yeah, the boys had passed away by the time they found them, which makes sense for the length of time that they were out here. There was no way they really could have survived on their own. So they perished out here. But you know, that's the way it was back then. You know, these woods were still wild. You know, old growth forest. Not a lot of people living back in this area. Not like today, where you know, if you walk, you know, a certain amount of distance, you'll run into a road or a house maybe. A lot different back then. All right, they are buried in a local cemetery. There's a town called Lovely. Yeah, just like it sounds, Lovely. And I think it's not too far from here, but I'm actually gonna film somewhere else first, and then maybe head down to that cemetery if I can find it. But for you, it'll just be a couple seconds till you see if I get to the cemetery, that you'll see it. But I gotta go film somewhere else, hopefully first. But yeah, hopefully next place you see me, we'll be able to find their grave markers at the church. All right, so we have finally made it to the town of Lovely. There's the cemetery up there, and this is the Mount Union Church right here. Looks like it says Spruce Hollow School over there. 1882 to 1959. But our objective is over here. And I'll have to admit, I got slightly lost trying to find this place. Out in the middle of nowhere, but it is beautiful, and as the town is called, it is a lovely spot out here. Alright, so it says Mount Union Cemetery, burial site of the Cox children, row 4. So just up this way, hopefully they're easy to find. It's row 4. Oh, there's a plaque for them right up here, it looks like. Cox children. Oh yeah, there's, yeah. The Lost Children of the Alleghenies. Cox, May 8, 1856. Joseph Cox, age 5 years old. George Cox, age 7 years old. Children of Samuel and Susanna. Looks like there was some other kind of thing for them here at one time too. It's kind of falling apart. Peaceful spot here in the mountains. There's the church. All right, so mission accomplished. We found the cemetery and their grave markers, which isn't always the easiest thing to do. Sometimes just finding the cemetery, especially in these back areas, and then actually be able to find their tombstones or their grave markers can be difficult too. But we found them. All right, tragic story, but as always, these old stories are pretty interesting at the same time. Like I said, they do teach a lesson. Like I said, if they would have searched past that creek, maybe they would have found them. But yeah, alrighty. Yeah, and I didn't make it to that other place I was going to get to film between, like I said earlier. Had some access issues. I was going to try to get to the Blair County High Point, but I'll have to do some more research on that. I know where it is, but the problem is potentially getting to it. Everything I encountered was posted, so that's the way it is. That's a video for another day, though. All right, I'm gonna try and start making my way back. I had trouble finding this spot here. Now I gotta try and make my way back. But anyway, hopefully stop at one place on the way home. But I'm rambling now. But as always, thanks for coming along, and I'll see you around.